Welcome back. You're here because you want the key info without the fluff.
And today we're digging into something pretty specific in a Ubuntu Linux update.
That's right. We're looking at the jump from version 24 by 0 to 25.04, which has the fun code name Plucky Puffin.
Plucky Puffin, I like it. And we're basing this on someone's actual experience upgrading, real-world stuff.
Exactly. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Pull out the main changes, figure out what it actually feels like to use, the user experience angle.
Which is often, well, quite different from just reading a list of features, right? How it feels matters.
Totally. So first things first, the upgrade process itself. Apparently, the usual pop-up notification, it was delayed, didn't show right away.
Ah, okay. So you might be waiting if you just rely on that standard prompt.
Right. But if you're a bit more, let's say, proactive, or maybe just eager to get the latest version.
Like some of us might be.
Yeah. There's a command you can use for these development releases. It's sudo do release upgrade von d.
Good to know. So do release upgrade with the ratty flag for development. Handy if you want to jump the queue, so to speak.
Exactly. It kind of highlights that difference in users, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Some dive in with the command line.
Yeah, absolutely. Different comfort levels. Okay, so moving past the how of the upgrade, what about the what? What actually changed under the hood?
Right, the core system stuff. Two big things mentioned.
Yeah.
A new Linux kernel.
This is always significant. That's the absolute core of the OS. Affects hardware support, performance, lots of things.
Definitely. And alongside that, GNOME 48 has landed.
Ah, GNOME 48. So the desktop environment itself gets an update. That's what you actually see and interact with day to day.
Precisely. Your desktop, your Windows menus, all that. And GNOME 48 introduces something, well, quite interesting, a digital well-being feature.
Oh, okay. Digital well-being. What does that actually involve in this context?
Well, the idea seems to be about helping you manage your screen time. The source mentions it has features designed to remind you to, take breaks.
That's actually pretty relevant. We all deal with staring at screens too long, maybe getting overloaded. So building reminders right into the desktop.
Yeah, it's a nod towards that balance, I suppose, managing information overload.
A subtle feature, but potentially quite impactful for daily habits. Interesting. Okay, what else? Any changes to the apps that come bundled?
Yes, and this is where the experience gets a bit more mixed, according to the source. Let's start with the image viewer.
Okay. Used to be Eye of GNOME, right? EOG.
Correct. That's been replaced by a new one called Loop, L-O-U-P-E.
Loop. Got it. And the verdict?
Well, not exactly a rave review, apparently. The user found Loop felt slow and a bit buggy compared to what they were used to.
Slower than Eye of GNOME, or slower than other alternatives?
They specifically mentioned preferring another app called G-Thumb and found Loop lacking in comparison. Also, a specific missing feature was called out.
Oh. What was that?
The ability to resize an image by specific pixel dimensions. Apparently that's just not there in Loop, or at least not easily found. Something they used in Eye of GNOME or G-Thumb.
Ah, okay. That's a fairly basic function for an image viewer. Having that missing or hard to find would definitely be, well, annoying if it's part of your workflow.
Yeah, exactly. It shows how a seemingly small change in default apps can disrupt things you took for granted.
True. So that's the image viewer. Any other app changes?
Yep. A similar story with the PDF viewer. The old default was Events.
Right, solid old events. What's the new one?
It's called Paper. And interestingly, the source mentioned they primarily use the PDF viewer for CVZ files.
Ah, comic book archive files. Okay, so mainly tested with those.
Seems so. And again, the experience wasn't entirely smooth. Two main points. First, some menu items are gone.
Like what?
Fit to page and fit to width. Common view options. They're not in the menus anymore.
Oh, so how do you do it? Is there a button?
The workaround described was clicking the main zoom icon multiple times until it cycles through the views you want.
Okay. Less discoverable, maybe a bit clunky compared to a menu item. And the second point?
Performance. Again, like Loop, Paper apparently felt sluggish, especially noticeable when scrolling through documents compared to events.
Sluggish scrolling in a document viewer is not ideal. That can get frustrating fast.
Definitely. So with both Loop and Paper, the takeaway seems to be new defaults, but maybe some rough edges in terms of performance and feature parity or usability compared to the older apps.
It really highlights that challenge for developers, doesn't it? Modernizing interfaces versus maintaining familiar workflows and expected performance.
Absolutely. So despite these specific app critiques, what was the overall impression of the upgrade?
Well, interestingly, after detailing those app issues, the source described the whole thing as basically a regular seasonal Ubuntu upgrade.
Ah, so kind of business as usual, despite the specific bumps.
Yeah, it suggests that for someone who's used Ubuntu for a while, the overall process felt familiar, predictable perhaps. The core upgrade worked. The system came up.
Okay, so maybe not earth-shattering changes overall, but some noticeable shifts in those key default applications.
Exactly. It implies a certain stability in the general upgrade process for Ubuntu, which is good. The main points of friction seem localized to those app replacement.
Right. So let's quickly recap then. Upgrading to Ubuntu 25.04 Plucky Puffin,
hmm
you get a new kernel, you get Genome E48.
And that potentially helpful digital well-being feature baked into the desktop.
But be aware of the new default apps. Loop for images, Paper for documents like PDFs and CBZs.
Yeah, the feedback suggests you might find them a bit slower, maybe missing a feature or two you relied on in the older apps, at least in this initial release.
Worth keeping in mind if you're considering the upgrade or if you've already made the jump.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you listening. Think about your own setup, your own digital tools. What are those little things, those specific features or performance quirks in the software you use every day that either really help you or really get in your way?
Hmm. It's true, isn't it? Sometimes the smallest details in software can make a big difference to your flow, your productivity, even just your general sense of calm versus frustration.
Exactly. How do these seemingly minor changes affect your digital well-being, you know?
Yeah.
Something to ponder.